So this is a picture I had in my house for years, actually. Julian, the photographer, sent a copy of this picture about a large 11 by 17 or larger print of this to me years ago that has been one of my prized possessions. But it's been something that I've been unable to share online because of rights issues and trying to get the book printed and all things like that. In the middle there is Larry Harvey, the founder and figurehead of Burning Man. And he is reading Free to Be You and Me to a gathering of burners at his seat. That is me on his left in my big happy-making hat. Now, Free to Be You and Me is one of it's a 70s musical children's, I guess it was a movie or a video, but it was a book and music and a movie that went with it. And it was totally hardcore, hippie, kid-raising music. It had songs like, "It's all right to cry, crying gets the sad out of you." And it had a song called "William Wants a Doll," about a boy who likes to play with girls' things. And it has all sorts of good stuff. It has "Free to Be You and Me," one of my favorite songs. I keep thinking, when can I have it made into like a breakbeat or a dubstep mix. And another great song called "Brothers and Sisters," which I play a lot of those during Hug Nation broadcasts or before them. And so "Free to Be You and Me," from the very first year I went to Burning Man, was somewhat of a Burning Man theme song for me. The very first audiovisual thing I did for Burning Man, I did like a slideshow with music using real audio. Remember that? And I used "Free to Be You and Me." Maybe I can find the audio here while we're talking. Oh, of course I can. What am I talking about? So when this picture opportunity came up with "Free to Be You and Me," Larry Harvey, and Burning Man, and hey, would you like to be one of the burners? And it was like one of those in the flow moments. So like, yes, yes, yes. And then when I got the copy of it, it was like, yes, I want this in my house looking at me every day. And so now that this book is coming out, and I can now share this photo and hopefully be able to buy books with it in it, it is a thrilling thought to me. So let me turn this down 1 second. So, the other great thing about this photo is it reminds me of one of my favorite Burning Man stories. One that I tell so often that I've actually heard people tell it back to me, not knowing where it started. So, this was the day after the burn, before there was a temple burn. So it was kind of people were breaking down all over the place, and people like me clinging to this gathering for every last minute that we could, still wandering around, and got pulled in by Julian to do this photo. And so we're waiting around, a number of people, they're trying to get the studio set up, and Larry Harvey's there smoking a cigarette, and everyone's just kind of like pretty spun out from the night before of burn night. And a woman walks up, agitated, and she's carrying the Who, What, Where book, which is the guide to events and happenings at Burning Man. I have mixed feelings about this guidebook, although the majority of those feelings are negative. I like the idea. I like the concept of having a way so that if there's something that's important to you, you have a way of knowing when it's going to be and where it's going to be. But people fall into old patterns of using a guidebook to tell them what they should be doing and where they should be going. We had experienced a couple years ago when I was backcountry, where Slinkerbell and Spotman did a mimosas and samosas party, and it was printed on the wrong day that they wanted to do it. And so people showed up the day late afterwards, and they were so upset because the food wasn't there. So this woman showed up and approached all of us sitting around with her Who, What, Where book. And she said, "Are you Larry Harvey?" And everyone's like, "What the? Who is that? Larry Harvey?" Walks up the book and she's like, "Well, the book says that there is supposed to be a pancake breakfast over at 2:30 and Genesis, and I walked from 9 o'clock over where my camp is all the way across the playa to this camp, and there wasn't even anybody in their camp." And Larry Harvey goes, "You walked all the way across the playa?" "Yeah." "And there wasn't anybody even there?" "No." "You didn't see anything good along the way?" And she was like, and I was just applauding. Yes. You didn't see anything good along the way? Nothing wrong with having a destination as long as you acknowledge that it is merely for the purpose of giving you a line that can traverse and bend and curve and boo, 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 boo. And if you never make it to the end of the line, that's fine too. The destination is merely an excuse for motion. An excuse to begin an adventure. I love that. I love that. I actually have a children's story in the works that involves a bunch of colorful characters on their way to find the pancake breakfast. And the wizard at the end that says, "But didn't you have anything wonderful happen along the way?" So I'm very excited that this book is going to come out and this image is now public, and we can be free to be you and me and kind of swirl dust around in our nose and minds and hearts as frequently as we need, which for me is daily, which is why I have this up in my house. I actually have several photographs and prints that people have given me from Burning Man in the house. In fact, I've got a painting of Burning Man and 2 photographs from Burning Man in my house at all times, reminding me of what I believe to be home.